Our next and final laureate of the evening is Dr. Christopher Murray. He is the director of the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation, chair of the Department of Health Metrics Sciences, School of Medicine, University of Washington in Seattle. And he, with Alan Lopez, they really are, you cannot separate them, is awarded for groundbreaking work in conceptualizing and quantifying the global burden of disease. So, Dr. Murray, please come on up, and his music is everybody's favorite Chumbawamba song.
So Alan needs glasses and a big piece of paper. I have a little piece of paper. So first, a word on the anthem. Chumbawamba, I get knocked down, but I get up again, has become my anthem. I learned at WHO that science and politics sometimes don't mix. So we ranked the world's health systems with our data, and I got fired. And so I exercised to Chumbawamba. I'll come back. And fortunately, I got a job at Harvard leading global health, and I met some very rich people, including Larry Ellison. And Larry Ellison promised me $115 million so that we could keep our work going. We even got so far, oh, don't clap. We got so far as that I was on the phone with Larry designing the logo for the Ellison Institute. And then he pulled the plug and never answered my calls and didn't give us the money. So I started listening to the song again, exercising to Chumbawamba. And my main message for anybody out there who faces some scientific adversity is just don't give up. You might get lucky. Alan said it well. We're getting awarded for starting the GBD, but really the 3,500 collaborators, some of whom which are in the room today, deserve as much credit as we do. And so we're very cognizant that this is a huge collective effort and one for which we're very proud of getting the recognition from the Gairdner Foundation. And I would like to echo what Alan said, which is in our field, this is the ultimate prize for global health research. So thank you very much to the foundation and to the selection committee. Now, in thinking about this award, I've thought back to how you end up in a career of research and how you end up being just so ornery that you just keep going on pursuing your ideas. And so there are 5 people I'd like to thank before really getting to the important people. So first, my father, incredibly iconoclastic researcher. He had a theory about iron sequestration. I think most people thought he was crazy, and he turned out to be largely right, but he taught me at a very young age, don't listen to what other people say. Second, both my parents, for being extraordinary risk takers, taking risks that I would never take with my daughter, who's here tonight. Namely, they bought 2 Land Rovers, drove us across the Sahara, opened up a hospital in eastern Niger, and gave me my first job at 10 as a pharmacist. And, that has a big effect on you. It really does. Third person I'd like to thank is E.O. Wilson, who was my undergraduate supervisor at Harvard, who taught me to embrace critique. One of his favorite sayings was he was blessed with brilliant enemies. I don't know if you've read his autobiography, The Naturalist, but he was a great leader and a great mentor. The fourth person I'd like to thank, because totally steered me in a different direction, was Gro Harlem Brundtland, who had been Prime Minister of Norway, got elected the Director General of WHO, read one of our papers, who does that, and gave me a job as a young scientist at a senior level at the World Health Organization. And her idea was bring the science into the organization, and it was lucky enough to be me. And lastly, you saw the photo in the slide. I have to thank Bill Gates for his love of numbers, and he has given us $650 million. Now to the really important people. First, Alan. What can I say? He said it best. Alan has been my intellectual sparring partner because our relationship, I'm originally from New Zealand, Alan's from Australia. He has a very bad rugby team. We have a very good rugby team. But we constantly spar, and that's the impetus for our work. We scheme, we conspire, we plan, and we simply wouldn't be, or I wouldn't be where I am without the constant friendship and interaction. And he, like he said, he is also my best friend. Now the hardest part for me is thanking my wife, who has worked with me for 25 years, and I think, as we heard earlier from one of the awardees, Dravor, I simply wouldn't have done the science that I've done without her patient, incisive, critical, and somewhat ornery also approach to life and work. But we're a partnership that's been remarkably successful, and I can't thank her enough. And then last, not least, my amazing 7-year-old daughter, who, if you haven't met her, she will introduce you to herself. Natasha, thank you for being here. Thank you for celebrating. Thank you all.